Welcome to this special edition of Lion Pride Sports as we continue our interview series. I'm Andrew Rogers, and joining me today is Lindenwood Gymnastics head coach Jen Llewellyn. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Good, thanks. I'm happy you were here to join us, and I can't wait to hear more about your life and your career so far. So, just for starters, but we aren't going to go really in depth of your team.
Okay.
I really want to just hear about you and your path. So, for like I said, for starters, were you a gymnast yourself?
Yes, I was. I started when I was 2. Always had the aspiration of going the college route, not the Olympic route. Was able and fortunate enough to do college gymnastics and then wanted to get into coaching, and here I am. And
this is where you ended up. So, did you always know that you wanted to be a gymnastics coach? Like, were you like, after you were a gymnast, like, hey, I'm going to be a gymnastics coach?
No, I wasn't.
Really?
I went to school at Oregon State, did gymnastics there. I knew I always wanted to stay involved in athletics. My major was merchandise management, and Nike headquarters were right down the road. So I always had that aspiration to work for Nike and to be involved in athletics, but more on the apparel side. And then after I was done with my 5th year and I graduated college, I had the opportunity to get my master's out here at Lindenwood, where I was able to also, dab my foot in the water for coaching. And then that's where I fell in love and said, this is what I want to do the rest of my life.
So that's exactly what led you into coaching. That's pretty exciting. So you talked about wanting to, did you work at Nike?
I didn't.
So you didn't get to work at Nike.
No.
So that was kind of like the headquarters. That would have been like the best place to be.
Right. But I do have a couple of teammates that work at the Nike headquarters. So I have connections that if I want to go back and visit, I can at least say I got connections.
Okay, so you made your way to Lindenwood.
Yes.
Are you loving your time here so far?
I am. I never thought I would be here past 2 years, but I've been here for 5 years, going on 6 years, and I can't imagine myself anywhere else right now.
And so tell me a little bit about being a good gymnast. Like, what does a person need to be a good gymnast? I don't know a lot about gymnastics. The most I know is probably Shawn Johnson in the Olympics.
Yes, Shawn Johnson is fantastic.
But other than that, I need you to help me out. What does it take as a player or as a coach, in your words, to be a good gymnast?
Relentless grit, determination, focus, work, all of the above. It's a very different sport than many other sports where if you want to be good and you want to attain that collegiate level or Olympic level, you have to start at a fairly young age and put in countless hours, and it teaches you a lot of patience, a lot of discipline, because it takes a lot of hours and practice to get to a great skill level, and obviously great coaches. But it's hard work. It's very tough, but it's very rewarding at the same time, because I think it's a sport that teaches you from a young age a lot of very valuable life lessons, and it helps you become a great person and a great contributor to society once you reach that age. But it takes everything. Mental, physical, all hard.
And absolutely. So you talked about being to start being a good gymnast. It starts being from a young age. So when you went into gymnastics, what age did you start?
I started when I was 2, and I started at that age because it was offered at my daycare, and I was a very rambunctious, annoying
beginners tumbling.
Yes, essentially doing roly-poly-olies on the mats.
Great.
Yes, so I started young.
So you started young, and did you take off like in high school and then college, and how did your path work out from when you first started gymnastics to when you went to Oregon?
Yeah, so I started. It's actually the only sport I ever really participated in. I did track for a little bit in elementary, but as soon as I began gymnastics, I just loved it, and I never kind of second guessed, do I want to try other sports? Do I want to quit the sport? And it just kind of year by year developed, and as I grew through the levels and got closer to the high school age is when I started thinking about college gymnastics, and it just kind of progressed from there, and had the opportunity to look at other universities and decided to stay closer to home and go to Oregon State with those coaches there. So it was a very smooth path, but it was a path that I just always loved the sport, and I knew it's what I wanted to do. And I just kind of stuck with it and was able to reach that goal of collegiate gymnastics.
And now you are here. You're at Lindenwood, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
So as a coach so far, you've been coaching for 5 years as a head coach. And what type of challenges have you had to overcome in the position so far?
Yeah, so I actually started as the GA, and I never thought I ever wanted to be a head coach. I always thought I would love to be an assistant coach and then, be there for a while and go from there. but I was kind of had the unique opportunity to become the head coach, and I've had a lot of challenges because it's a younger program, and this is my first real experience. So the girls, the first class that was here in 2012, and that started the program. We really just bonded and worked together to work through obstacles, and we had a very talented group and a very passionate group, and we all had one common goal of defying the odds and kind of breaking anyone's expectations as being a young program, being a new program, because we were the newest program to be added to collegiate athletics in the gymnastics world since 2003, which was University of Arkansas. So a lot of people just expected, oh, they're the new kids on the block, give them a while to develop and build their foundation. So we kind of had that fire to say we're better than what everyone else thinks. So let's try to overcome those obstacles and those naysayers. And it's just been a fun journey and a fun process. Every year we try to break more records and create more history for this program and the girls' legacy. So it's kind of fun to look at it in a way of what's the next opportunity we can take hold of and really break through.
The Lindenwood gymnastics team, defying the odds, being the underdog, going everywhere. That is such a cool story. So you guys are a young team, and I get that. But what type of awards have you won? Have you guys won any awards?
We have. So the third year of the program is the first year that we won the national championship, the USAG national championships, and we also won conference that year. And we've won 3 conference titles since then, so we're back-to-back-to-back conference champions, which is great, especially because in our conference we have D1 schools, D2 schools, D3 schools, so programs with more opportunities and resources. And so again, that kind of fuels my fire to say let's be better and let's prove that even though we don't have everything, we can do more with what we have. And then we also won nationals in 2016 for a second time when we hosted for the first time. So we've been very fortunate and to be very successful, and we always remind our girls to stay humble, and every year is a new year, and you have to earn everything that you get and that you accomplish. So it's been really fun.
Well, that all starts with great coaching. It has to start with great coaching, right?
Sure.
So we talked about your challenges and what you've overcome as a coach. Talk to me about some of your gymnasts. What type of challenges do you help them overcome?
Yeah, that's probably my favorite part of the job, and that's why I wanted to go into coaching, because that's what my coach really instilled in us. Is she was the type of person that was able to look at everyone's background and where they came from and their path to get to where they were at the collegiate level and figure out how they worked and how they ticked and what she needed to do to help them. And we have girls from everywhere in the country. We have girls from the West Coast, the East Coast, Great Britain, Canada, and everyone has had a different path, different coaching styles, different techniques, different family backgrounds. And I think that's what I love most about is being able to help these girls develop into young women so that when they go into the real world, they feel like they've had a well-rounded experience at the collegiate level, from athletics to academics to we have a sports psychologist now on staff, which is excellent. So it's just developing the whole person and being able to help them figure out who they are and get them ready for success, life after gymnastics in school.
And finally, I want to get your best part about coaching. Can you tell me either one event, one situation, or just one time when you were a coach that you were just like, this is probably the best part about being a gymnastics coach?
Yeah. I've never been asked that question, so that's a very
I'm always
a great
full
question.
of new things.
Off the top of my head, I would say I think the very first conference championship we won, which was kind of the big breaking point to our goals, was saying we did it because we knew we were capable of it, and then finally attaining that, it was a game changer. It changed recruiting, it changed the way people looked at us, it changed the way people viewed us as a program, as a staff, as athletes, and it was a total game changer that we could say we did it, and we defied the odds, and with being a 2-year-old program, we were able to accomplish it, and it was everything and more. And it wasn't even about the trophy or the title, it was about the fact that we accomplished something that no one ever thought possible.
Jen, is that the championship ring?
Yes.
Show
Well,
it off. Show it off. Show it off. There it is.
Great. This was actually the second one that we won at home, and that was really exciting too because it was the first time we ever hosted nationals, and then we won it at home with our whole fan base. But what we do with rings, when we win conference and when we win nationals, we have the seniors decorate it. So what's fun about this is that the first class was able to design this ring.
Well, on that note, it's sparkling, it's blinding me. We are going to send it away. Jen, thank you so much for joining us. That's it for this edition of Lion Pride Sports. Once again, with Jen Llewellyn, I'm Andrew Rogers. Tune in next time as we continue our interview series.